think
Don't open the meeting
Say,
yet.
give him
We're having-
just a minute. Oh,
We're not live yet.
I thought you said we were. Took my pulse and
Pause for effect.
All right, we're live.
opening a meeting of the Aransas County Appraisal Review Board. It is July the 20th at 8:30. The first hearing on the docket is case ID 2020-1243, account 24817. This hearing is being recorded. We're the Appraisal Review Board hearing your protest today. We do not work for the appraisal district. We are appointed to perform an independent review of the protest. Protester has the right to appeal our decision. Appeal information will be provided to the protester with our determination. In accordance with Tax Code Section 4145H, all written material is assumed to have been provided with the affidavit. The ARB members who are considering the protest have not communicated with anyone about the protest and are signing affidavits to that effect. I, Charles Powers, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 4166F.
I, Kathy Hoffman, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with a person in violation of Tax Code Section 4166F.
I, Cindy Duck, do solemnly swear that I've not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F.
I, Robert Dayton, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F.
All testimony from all witnesses must be given under oath.
My name is Michael Soto. I do solemnly swear that I shall present to the Appraisal Review Board the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct. At this point, I'm going to read the property owner's affidavit of evidence. Want to notate that the protest form was kind of a summary form, and it looks like on this one, 2824817. Yeah, there was 01, 02, and 05, and then at the affidavit of evidence, there was only 02, which is appraisal ratio. So there's at least three things that are assessed or picked for the protest form, and only one it's normally the other way around. I'm going to go ahead and read the property owner's affidavit of evidence at this point. Green Wing Investments LLC, 101 Goodwin Avenue, Victoria, Texas 77901. Reasons for protest. The property description is left link. The reasons for protest is unequal compared with other properties. The account number in question is 24817. The evidence, it says how many pages? There's 3. Section 5, statements and facts and arguments. We have withdrawn our protest on market and are protesting equity only for PIP 24817. This is a 1,350 square foot residence built in 1971. We have compiled a representative sample of comparable properties that are similar age, class, and location. Once appropriately adjusted, we show the subject property to be unequally appraised as compared with similar properties. We respectfully request the board to consider our opinion of value of $442,925. Attached on the following pages, it says, I do not intend to appear at the hearing. That box is checked, and it's signed by Kinsey McGrew in Victoria on the 17th day of July 20, before Kristen Weathersby. Excuse me. Opinion of value, effective date 1/1/2020, date of report 7/17/2020, account number 24817, owner name is Green Wing Investments, CAD is Aransas, property address is 25 Flamingo Road, Rockport, Texas 78382. The mailing address is 101 Goodwin Avenue, number 410, Victoria, Texas. Legal description, Ski Allegro, Unit 2, Block 5, Lot 40. Land use code A3 residence, single family waterfront home, waterfront. Land area 6,400 square feet, total building area 1,350 square feet, net rentable area 1,350, class 5 FB. Year 1971. CAD preliminary market is 448,960. And the unequal value is 442,925. On the next page over, you'll see a comp grid for Flamingo, and comp number A, or comp A, is 19 Sandpiper. Comp B is 13 Flamingo, and comp C is 1853 Bay Shore. You can see that they're all state class A3, which is waterfront. The market values are displayed right there for you, 448, 446, 445, 411, respectively. Market values per square foot, 332, 315, 368, 317. The land square footages across are 6,400 for the first three and 56 for the last one. The land value is displayed for each one, 294 for the first three and 246 for the last one. The living area is 1,350 square feet. Comp A is 1,450, comp B is 1,209, comp C is 1,296. The classes are respectively are 5FB, 4FB plus, 4FB plus, 5FB. The age adjustment is 1971, 1980, 1971, 1970, with some adjustments there. You can see that the segments adjustments, that's the individual segments adjustments for each that are displayed, and then the net adjustments for each that are displayed. It shows the percentage difference respectively for A, B, and C at 3.79, 1.34, 3.16. Their median equity value is 442,925. All right. The next page that you actually see is the map that's associated with the comp grid. So you have the subject as S and A, B, and C that's displayed right there. And that is the summation of the property owner agent affidavit of evidence.
May I just ask one question?
Sure.
That is set up to look just like your comp
I was gonna say the
equity
same thing.
grid, but then I went and looked in yours, and those are not the comps you used.
That is correct. Those are not the comps I use. Those are the comps he selected to prove his case, his
How
equity.
come it's set up exactly the same way?
Because he's smart.
This agent
He's
is
smart.
this agent's a very good agent. He's very diligent.
Does he have the same programs that we have?
I guess I would say this: if I ever was in need of an agent, this would be the person I would use.
Who is it?
Well, it's on the thing.
It's on the thing.
It's Junick is the
Jimmick?
Junick is the representative.
Is he local here?
He's pretty local, yeah. He works in Victoria, Corpus, and that area. This area.
I just wanted to clarify that I was not like,
No, he's really good. He's
Very
very
smart.
very reasonable. Having said that, let's move on to my evidence and see what else we presented. The first page is the actual page for the actual card. Now, the very first thing that you can see in the card is there's a difference between 1971 and the actual age of 1996. This thing has undergone some changes and some effective age changes. It's currently listed for $525,000.
Currently on the market.
It's on the
It's
market.
always on the market.
Huh?
It's always on the market.
Yeah, and this one's on the market for $525. 24,817 is the account number. And so some of this listing information: new paint, new windows, new roof, new bulkhead, ready for you to enjoy. Home is offered furnished, 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, extra storage, stairs, 2 carport garage, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, kitchen upstairs, 1 large bedroom. Goes on. It's gone some changes. There's some changes that have occurred. It's not a 1971 structure anymore. We have a 1996, so we've added 15 years to the, was that
It was,
25 years to the
it was
equation?
really beat up in the storm.
Yeah, we've added 25 years to the equation. So although the previous grid is very good, one of the main things that's different is the actual effective age that should be considered. And so in my comp grid, you can see the subject is at 448,960. My comp number one, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 for the sales, 5 for the sales. Now, understand that the subject property owner's agent has withdrawn the sales.
And so just
So I will
call
summarize that the median equity value for the sales, which is relevant to the discussion, supports the value of 515. Now, when you couple that with the subject being on the market for 525, that kind of makes some sense. There's some congruency there. Moving on to comp equity. On comp equity, our just like his grid is tight and it's moving from 448 to 442, my grid is tight too. Mine's from 448 to 551. So we're only talking a few $1,000s range either way. On the equity grid, you're looking at 13 Flamingo. The subject is at 25 Flamingo. The first grid is, let's see if these are in fact, yeah, he uses this one in the grid. He uses this one in the grid.
number what?
He used 19 Sandpiper.
Yes.
He used 2 to 3 in the grid. So he switched A and B from 1 and 2, but that's okay. Those are both in the grid. The only difference there is that there is an adjustment in his grid for 1980. I want to point that out. I'm going to go ahead and present. My evidence presents an evidence that it's a median equity value of 451,608. And the difference there is there's an adjustment in his grid for the actual age, and mine is based on effective age. So they, in both of these cases, both the subject and comp 2 or 19 Sandpiper, okay, there's been remodeling events, okay? So for the subject, it's 1996. For comp number 2, it's 1995, okay? So those are fairly, those are right there. In his, you have 19 Sandpiper. What I want to point out is he's still showing a 1980 original age, and he's comparing that to an original 1971, and he's taking away $7,000 from that net adjustment, 7,249. So that's a distinguishing factor. If you looked at this, and you said, "Whoa, well these two are basically 1995, 1996. They're basically identical. There should not be that $7,249 adjustment." So you would add $7,249 to that net total, and so that net total of 431. That 431 would be about $7,000 more. So you're looking at about 438 for that. And there's only 3 comps, so he's picking the middle. So the middle still ends up being the middle. It's still 442 on his grid. Moving back to my grids, you could see that, again, 2 of the same comps are there. The difference, I mean, he has different adjustments, for the price per square foot. Mine is based on, the totality of the square footage, based on all the elements, not just a few elements. Comp number The only one that's different is the one that I have that's comp number 3, that's 3 Flamingo. And you can see that it's the exact same year. It's a little, it's 1613 square feet compared to 1350. It's less valuable from a class standpoint. It's got less land value, and it purports a value of 458,292. Attached with that, what we have is the sales grid. I'm sorry, the sales ratio report, and the sales ratio report gives a overall weighted mean of 92.67. At the end of our evidence package, you could see that, we got granite countertops. It's got a new interior. It's not high-end finishes, but it's very nice. It's been nicely redone. The effective age is warranted. I think that's the major difference there. So in summary, what I'd like to say is that we have a value of 448 for which the subject property is currently on the market for 525. Now, although market's not under protest anymore, please understand that it's viable to an equity position. And in our sales grid's supported 515. From an equity standpoint, we've got 451. What would I say about the two different grids? I would say that the grid presented by the agent is very good. I would say that the grid presented by the district is more comprehensive. You could see each individual adjustment for decks and docks and carport unders and any of the other elements, because our system has that in there. And that's it.
Okay. All right. So,
Well, I think Mike's fact that's on the market for 525, and it's the price that's listed at now 448 is below both the sales and the equity median levels. So I think we should leave it where it is.
I agree.
I would agree.
all right, so on account number 24817, I make a motion based upon what we've heard from the district and the information received from the property owner's agent, that we leave the property value for 2020 on account 24817 at $448,960. And I believe that this not only considered the appraisal ratio exceeding the median level, but even all other ways, including the incorrect appraised market value and any other things that might influence the valuation on the property for 2020.
Second,
Second.
in favor?
Aye.
Case is closed. This is an affidavit case.
Yes.
Opening a hearing on, you ready?
Sure.
Opening a hearing on case ID 2020-1246, account 24979. Again, this is a hearing by affidavit. This hearing is being recorded. We do not work for the appraisal district. We are appointed to perform an independent review of the protest. The protester has the right to appeal our decision. Appeal information will be provided to the protester with our determination. In accordance with Tax Code Section 4145H, all written material is assumed to have been provided with the affidavit. ARB members who are considering the protest have not communicated with anyone about the protest and are signing affidavits to that effect. I, Charles Powers, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 4166F.
I, Kathy Hoffman, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of Tax Code Section 41.66F.
I, Cindy Duck, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 41.66F.
I, Robert Dayton, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 41.66F.
All testimony from all witnesses must be given under oath.
My name is Michael Soto. Do solemnly swear affirm the testimony shall present to the Appraisal Review Board for the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
Okay.
All righty. The property's owner's agent has presented an affidavit of evidence for account number 24979, Lori Pavlish, 304 Chimney Rock, Victoria, Texas 77904. Section 3, for the reason of protest is values unequal compared with other properties. Evidence are 6 pages. Please see our attached letter and opinion of value report. For the record, the things under protest are 1, 2, and 5, which is incorrect appraised market value, appraised register exceeds minimum level appraisal, and other. But under the property owner's affidavit of evidence, it's only unequal. Here's the letter and opinion of value. It says, I do not intend to appear. Kinsey McGrew before Kristen Weathersby on the 17th day of July 2020. Juna Consulting, dear ladies and gentlemen of the board, we are protesting unequal appraisal of property ID 24979, withdrawing the protest under market value of the property. The 1708 square foot elevated wood frame home built in 1970 survived the Hurricane Harvey with fairly minimal damage considering. The only changes and repairs were to remove the fireplace, replace the roof, repair decking, minor interior and exterior fixes, and cosmetic touches. There have been no changes to the construction or the thinner station to warrant the class change to a 5SS. These cosmetic changes and updates are reflected in the effective year, and we feel that the class should go back to 4SS. Though we disagree with the appraisal district's change of class on the subject property, we are providing a representative sample of 7 appropriately adjusted properties that are of the same class as the subject and very similar size and age to the location. When compared in similar and appropriately adjusted with properties, we feel that the subject property is unequally appraised. We respectfully request the board to consider our evidence and opinion of value 480,157. 480,157. The opinion of values for 2020. The date of the report is 7/17. The account number is 24979. 23 Whooping Crane, Rockport, Texas. Key Allegro Unit 3, Block 10, Lot 23. Land Use Code A3, County Aransas. Lori Pavlish gives the mailing address right there. Land use is A3 waterfront residence, single family. Land square footage 6,400. Building is 1708. Net rentable 1708. Class 5SS. Year built 1970. CAD preliminary market is 513,940. The unequal is 481,57 based on unequal and uniform approach. So you have the subject listed on the comp grid. You have comp A is 21 Albatross, comp B is 14 Curlew, and comp C is 2 Bimini. You can see the respective market values at 620, 512, and 528 respectively. Price per square foot, 356, 440, 344, and 303 respectively. Subject is at 300. The land square footage, 6,400, or I'm going to start with the subject this time, 6,400, 6,596, 6,000, and 6,900. You can see the land value respectively, 307, 494, 387, 365. You can see the adjustments for the land accordingly. You can see the living area square footage at 1708 compared with 1743, 1488, and 1743. You can look at the classifications and you see a 5SS across the board. You can look at the age. I believe this is the initial age, 1970, 1976, 1974, 1973. You can see the segments adjustment in each grid. 22,000 for a net of 27, 21,000 for a net of 28, 43,000 for a net of 7. And then the net adjustments down below for the whole. 164,000, 37,000, 53,000. Indicated values for each are 455, 474, 475. And you can see the percentage changes, 11.13, 31, 7.61, and 7.49. The median equity value that's reported by the property owner's agent is 480,157. Oh, I'm sorry. There's
Some other comment.
4 more. Yeah, you have D, E, and F. The indicated values for each of those respectively are 480, 495, 523. And then comp G has an indicated value of 527. And the median value that's indicated is 480, which is comp D. Okay. You can see comp D, E, and F, the respective price per square foot, or I'm sorry, the respective price, the square footages. Following the grid, you have a map indicating the equal and uniform and the comp.
G?
Yeah, and G.
Is it G?
Yeah, G has indicated value of 527 when compared with the subject. And the last page is the actual map showing those locations.
It's hard, it's funny, you know, you get so used to seeing the canals and all, it's hard without them, isn't it? Or it is for me.
That's already green. This is a different one. Okay. That's the property owner's affidavit of evidence. Let me look at the ACAD evidence here. Account number, ACAD evidence. That's currently, the subject property is currently listed at 649,000. Subject property currently has a value of 513,940. It's currently listed as a 5SS. It had some renovation due to the subject. There was an effective year of 2010, an actual year of 1970. All right. The next page is the actual pictometry imagery, and then you have our grid after that. You can see that we have, although comp sales are not indicated or market value is not under protest anymore, I want to just point out for the record that our indicated value supports the value that we currently have at 513. It has a median value of 587. Subject is currently on the market for 6 and change. For our equity grid, the equity grid actually warrants a small change You can see that our grid is indicating a value of 512, 354. The subject is at 513. The difference is here is we're taking into account the effective age. You can see the adjustments on comps number 1 and 2, and the change associated with that effective year. We try to pull other 5SSs in that area, and it looks like we have 3. They're all 5SSs. One of the ones that they used, I believe, is the same one. Let's see. Yeah, comp G. Comp G is our comp number 3. We have an indicated value of 530. They have an indicated value of 527. So there's some congruency there. Those are pretty comparable. You know, they have some differences there. That's on the equity grid. On comp number 2 Bimini, we're also using that one. 2 Bimini is their comp C, and it's our comp 2. Let's look at the differences there. They have an indicated value of 475. We have an indicated value of 493. Okay. Comp number 1 is
What else, is there an element driving that that's a significant difference? Is the age driving it?
You mean the difference in valuation?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like the biggest difference there, well, there's a lot of other elements. There's a lot of other open decks. See, there's a $12,000 minus there. The land element is the biggest change, though. Do you see how there's a $69,000 or $58,000 minus? Yeah, and in his, it's the same adjustment. So that's the biggest adjustment. If you took the 528 minus the 58, that's the biggest driver down. Is that the question?
But they've got 60. I mean, you've got 60, so I mean, that isn't it.
What do you mean?
It appears, Charlie, that it's
All the other,
effective age adjustment of 1988 on that house. It's the adder.
yeah, it's the 17,000. Like if we added the 17,000 to the 475, what is that number? I don't know that that's exactly it, but that's one of the biggest elements. That 475 times or plus, what was that?
Call it
18,000. That gets to 493. Yeah, that's our number. Yeah, that's that's basically, it's the effective age of the property. The other element, comp number 1, do they use that one as well? That's 15 Pelican. Yes, they use 15 Pelican. And there's an adjustment there as well, because you can see that those are both initial 1970 structures, but one's been made freshened up, newer than the other, in our opinion. So again, the differences are minor, but they're there. What I would say is that if you look at this, another thing to look at is the congruency of these accounts. Like if you're looking at, comp number 3, which was G, I think it was G. Notice that was 530 in our grid and 527 in his. Pretty tight. I mean, if you look at the comp number 2, which is 2 Bimini on his grid, that's comp C, and the only difference there is the effective age, which is the 17,000, which I would say that 493 is more more reasonable. Comp number 1 is 15 Pelican, and on 15 Pelican in his grid, you can see that purports a value of 495, and our value is 512. Now 9,000 or 8,500, somewhere in that range of that value is again the effective age, and then there's all these other small elements that are there, whether it's carports or porches. I mean, that's the reason that that this grid is set up the way that it is, because it looks at all the additional elements, what we call contributory factors. These are contributory value to the whole. And that's the reason we try to pull 5SSs, is because it's pulling from that same table.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
What was the effective age of the subject house in 2017 before the hurricane?
I can get that for you. Let's go to summary.
When you're on there, could you also see if what the
1985. It was 1985 at that time.
while you're in there, could you look and see if it was a 5SS then?
It was a 4SS.
It was a 4SS.
You asked about this house?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so it had some remodeling before the storm,
That's correct.
but then there was another adjustment to the effective age then due to the remodeling after the storm.
Right.
Okay.
And yeah, that's correct.
So they could have all had that same deal.
I'm kind of interested in the change of class from a 4 to a 5 just because of the repairs that he made. It
Again,
didn't look like it was warranted, change of class.
again, that's our call. We do thousands of these every year. We try to have congruency in the way that we do it. We're saying that this is just a little bit above average. We're not 4 is an average home. We're saying this is a little bit above average property.
Yeah, I was just looking for justification based on what was done.
Oh,
And from the letter that they wrote, maybe that.
well, it says Key Allegra waterfront home on Mackerel Canal, no expense was spared, fabulous remodels, ready for you to move right in and start enjoying the good life. The interiors to die for, incredible inside and outside, waterfront patio deck will take your breath away, high-end coastal. So
Well, it sounds like they did well.
yeah, they spruced it up.
It sounds like it, but the picture of it looks not good at all. I'm
It's
sorry, I
kind of
mean, it looks
boring.
very
Well,
tired.
it's one of the older styles where you had to walk through those 2 areas to go back upstairs. I know the house.
But it's got the same wood, I mean, or siding or whatever. To me, it
It's
looks
just-
like.
It's just its look. If they've done all that work inside, you can't see it obviously. I think what they described makes it at least that.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
we're
if I was
saying
silly.
I mean,
that,
their statement that they've done all that and made it a fabulous property.
right,
Yeah.
we're saying that it's an above average. We're not saying it's even a very good or excellent home. We're just saying it's just a little above average. And that's our call.
Yes, the thing that troubles me is you say it's a little above average after the repairs, but the repairs weren't all that dramatic.
Well,
Sounds like they were.
I mean, yeah, but if you read the letter versus reading the advertising brochure, I mean, advertising you can say anything you want, but I mean, it just doesn't.
Is it for
I'm having
sale?
trouble with why the
649.
change took place based on these repairs. That's all.
We made the change based on the information that we received.
So the write-up that you just read was from
Yeah.
a realtor.
I mean, not only that, I mean, we're $130,000 underneath the listing. I mean,
But a listing is just a listing.
Yeah, but I'm listening to 649, if it's really, 513 or 512 is, that's way over. That, people get it, but,
I want to point out that even my grid warrants a change. It's ever so slight, but it warrants a change.
yeah, I agree, down to 512, 354, I think it is. It's like it's $1,000 whatever change. I agree with the listing. The category you put it in.
I think if the property agent really wanted to make the point, he would have included pictures of the inside to show that,
Well,
It was
they
beautiful.
probably have them, they're on the listing sheet.
okay,
They wouldn't be on ours necessarily, but they're on the
Right.
MLS listing.
But on my, like, if I was gonna sell my house, I would say beautiful, okay? Even though it is not beautiful, okay? Cause I'm not gonna say, this house doesn't look good, don't come look at it.
No, but if you have to choose your words and not be, you know.
Yeah, if
You
you're,
you can't be, you know, making
But it's a
stories about the
listing, that's
property.
not an, I mean,
But-
in his letter that he wrote, he said he only did minimal. A listing is just a listing by an agent.
But it also has to be realistic.
my point was, when you're arguing the tax value, and you say, well, it's pretty plain and ordinary inside, we didn't do much to it. I'd like to see some pictures of the inside, and those weren't included, which is too bad, but it doesn't really, those pictures would have supported their case. I hear where you're coming from, Charlie, but I tend to agree when they're asking, what'd you say, 5 or 625 or 525?
they're asking 649 for the
649, yeah.
Yeah, my personal opinion is that we need to lower it based on the equity.
I would
came up
agree.
with. However, having said that, I would agree that it's worth more than that. But maybe not the 649, but some of it above the 512.
Yeah, so it's, that it's,
But we can't, you know, the numbers are what they are.
I'm with you, Kathy.
So I recommend that we reduce the price based on the median equity value, which is what they're protesting, to 512,350 for 350.
512,350.
And leave the class as it
And
is.
leave the class as it is, which wasn't a subject to be changed. so.
Right.
Is that a motion?
No, I was just.
I mean,
Makes a motion.
I'll make them, I mean, anybody can make, I don't mind making it, but are you? It's kind of like, I don't agree, but I think we should go lower, but I'm like, you know, I haven't been inside, I don't know.
Yeah.
They aren't told they have to supply pictures, so, you know, I don't know, I'm kind of,
What do you think? What do you not like that price? It should be lower.
I mean, I don't, of course, I'm just like you, we don't know for a fact, okay? But I still am having a problem with going off what the real estate agent said, because I know what they've said about other people's homes and what they've actually looked like, okay? Because,
I don't think we should take that into consideration so much, just the numbers. Numbers are the numbers, and, you know, anybody can look at it.
so anyway. Charlie, you good?
Yeah.
All right, so I make a motion on account number 24979 that the 2020 value be lowered down to 512,000,
350.
okay, 350. For the 2020 value, based upon what we heard from the district, appraisal district, and from the property owner's agent, I believe that this does take into, this definitely takes into consideration the appraisal ratio exceeding the median level of appraisal, and that it actually is proven in incorrect appraised market value and other issues which might affect the value of this property.
Second.
In favor?
Aye.
Case is closed.
and just to be sure, he didn't send anything else in?
Hang on. So this is the first order, and I'm gonna go print out the second order, and we're done till 1:30.
Wow. Cool.
Okay, moving on in the agenda to the order. You want to do your,
Oh, Mike's good news, or whatever, good news.
Oh, you're ready to approve? the
why don't you
record?
go ahead while we're here?
Okay, all right, so, this morning before, at 8:26 before the hearings this morning, I ran the CAD preliminary totals for 2020, which is in that report, there is a box that I can check that does the calculation for the 5% automatically. And it is on, the third page of, and this is just proof so that this board can actually say with some certainty that we've done, you've completed 95% of that that's listed. So I want you to read that into the record right there. I want you to read that date, that time and date, and I want you to read that statement right there.
Okay. This is the 2020 preliminary totals as of 7/20/2020, 8:26 a.m. The assessed value under ARB review represents 3.9% of the overall district value.
There you go. And that gives you the evidence to actually do your, if you want to go ahead, I can get Val to bring you the actual approval of the appraisal records.
Yes,
Okay.
please.
All right.
Go ahead and do that.
Interesting. Hey, Charlie,
Yeah.
go in your thing and look at the cases for today and look on page 3, please, of the, it's like, you have to go back to ARB.
This is the CAD, and then behind there is the totals for the GAR, which
No,
is,
actually, no, well, I don't
GAR
think
is
so.
the entire county.
I
so
just
it's
was
the
looking
same
in there.
report. The CAD and the,
No,
you'll notice that.
It isn't different. I'm
notice the
trying to
property
figure
count
out
right
why
there
that
and
top
property
one on
count are
page
equal,
3
because the CAD and
just
the
has
and the
that
entire
market.
county are
Probably
identical.
a personal property.
All right, that's where you.
I know, but why market? That doesn't make any sense.
I don't know, you have to ask Mike
What's that now?
about.
In a situation like the one on page 3, the top one,
Page 3, got it. Top
why
one.
does it only have something for market? It doesn't have land or improvements.
If you'll notice, that's a short-term rental business personal property account. And so,
That's the in.
it's just
no.
a personal business personal
Do
property account.
something
It's
to
like
roll that
a,
together.
Oh, no, I know what you're saying.
Uh-huh.
So this is personal,
Is this a rental property?
where does it say personal?
well, it says STR, which stands for short-term rental, which
Okay,
means it's the
STR.
assets inside.
got
Do
it.
you want to go ahead
Anything,
and sign?
and so it
This
has
one,
business
the
value
approval?
only. It
Got
doesn't-
it,
doesn't
okay,
have
those are
like-
the contents,
Yeah,
the
just
thing,
content.
okay. I thought it was called PP or
It's
something.
BPP.
So, and I just didn't see that on there, so that's why I was like, oh, well, I don't.
I didn't see that.
It's the first time we've missed that one.
Yeah,
Huh?
ST.
Sure, no,
We
I
have
don't
different
mind.
ones that, we have some that say
Make sure you
PR, BPP, STR. We have some that are
Personal
both,
property or.
we have, with just categories, we know that they're business personal property, different categories, you know.
So homes that are being rented out, their personal property in the home they're renting should be called an STR?
Yeah,
Account?
it's an asset that allows that business to operate. And it's very minimal, it's just like the couches and the beds and stuff, you can see that this one's minimal.
Okay.
Go ahead.
You all understand that we made this 5%. Actually, we made 3.9, so we're good to go. So I'm gonna read the order approving the appraisal records before I sign it. Order approving appraisal records for Aransas County Appraisal Review Board, Aransas County, Texas. On July 20th, 2020, the Appraisal Review Board of Aransas County, Texas met to approve records for the tax year 2020. The ARB finds that the appraisal record should be approved as corrected by the chief appraiser according to the orders. The ARB therefore approves the appraisal records as corrected. Can I have a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the 2020
Okay.
appraisal records.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Done.
And congratulations.
Yeah, good job, everybody. That was a big push. We still got a while to go, but I
We
mean,
still
we're
have, we
just,
still have lots to go.
we have,
It's like-
we have lots of properties, but
Do
not,
you want to
it doesn't represent a
do
lot.
like a letter?
Because you can
and
see you only have three.
Do you wanna
people
do
done.
more,
Still left.
items, or do you wanna wait until after?
And we had like,
That's kind of interesting, because I would have thought it would have been more business, and that's where there might be more.
we handled a couple of really
Actual
solid
records.
days of
I'll make a
business
copy of this.
with Amon, like a couple back to back. And there were hundreds of millions of dollars, I mean, or tens of millions of dollars that were just, like you were just making orders on them, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And as soon as you make an order, that goes from this pile to this pile. It goes from the 92%, and now it makes it 94% or something like that.
We're gonna take this opportunity to also do a letter.
Gotcha.
Dilemmas. Wait, Val, can I just confirm with this, what I'm supposed to just put it in the file cabinet?
Right, and I will make a copy of this for you as well to go with it.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
All right, so our letter today, dated July, it was received, it's dated July 13th, it was received the 17th. I am the, to whom it may concern, I am the executor. Okay, good. I'm the executor on my dad's estate, which includes the property located at 2308 Highway 35 North Rockport. Property ID 51784, owner ID 63202. He passed away June 7th. Enclosed is a death certificate. I received a packet of mail that had accumulated during his sickness, which included the notice of appraised value. However, I have missed the date to protest the significant increase in proposed value for 2020. Under these circumstances, can I get an extension to facilitate a protest? Respectfully, James H. McBurney Jr.
What was the date on the letter?
July 13th. And there is a copy of the
Well,
death
that's
certificate.
the property is, I don't know what the property is.
It's across the street from Walmart. It's like a little strip.
Where $10
Security is.
$10 security is.
There used to be a Mexican oh my God, that Mexican
Oh,
restaurant
years,
had
years.
the best crab cakes.
Jim McBurney.
Jim McBurney, the dad.
Oh,
Jim
okay.
McBurney.
I knew Michael. I mean, I know Michael, but
Yeah.
There's four, there's
Well,
sons.
this
and
is his
daughters.
dad.
Yeah, they own that building, Sandpiper, and I forget what else.
$10.
I knew they were in protest.
You know, one thing that just occurred to me is the appraisal review board can grant late protests if they haven't approved the appraisal records. And I'm realizing, well, we just approved the,
But these, no. We can grant late ones after, but they can only be the 25. Before today, we could have granted for just kind of because we felt like it
Uh-huh.
oh my
deemed it.
gosh, you know what? You're right.
yeah, I think so.
So,
You can grant it 25.
I don't think it's gonna be 25.
Well, you can't make that call right now. You
No,
just have
I
to,
haven't seen the value.
You have
But
to do-
regardless.
you have to do just cause, which you can, and I think you, I mean,
No, let us do it on, because because we had an agreement amongst us, and I feel very firmly that we need to continue with what our agreement was. Because we've already kind of veered off of it a couple of times, and I think we need to stick with what we said, which was we were not going,
Yeah, what was the date of the letter was,
July 13th.
and the date he died was June?
He died, I think,
7th.
June 7th, maybe? No, it's later than that.
He passed away June
Well, some of
7th.
the death
June
certificates,
7th.
He
And
passed
the
away. June-
deadline for filing protest was
17.
June 17th.
I am not
No,
even.
that's, yeah, I agree. I mean, he died on June the 7th, and this is 10 days
The
later.
executor hasn't gotten the information told. I'm not in favor of granting it, but I know the circumstances, and so.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do too. But here's the deal. This is just like the one that I felt extremely strongly
There's-
about, and and we said
Yeah,
no.
there's sufficient time in there. I mean, it wasn't like it was the next day or the
Right, he had 10 days to go
Yeah.
through his mail.
10 days to go through. the mail.
Well, even that, because who knows, because there were other people involved, so the mail may not have been readily accessible, okay? It doesn't matter. We said,
I think you're right.
on that other
yeah.
one, we said,
I think you're right.
and I felt very strongly on that one.
Yeah, I know.
So we can.
And
we can
everybody
grant it on-
agreed after we ruled on that one, the way we did, that no more, no, we would not grant any.
No, I agree, but I'm saying as Mike said, we could make it a 2025.
the only, I
No,
think-
we don't make it a 25-25. What we do is we say, this has sufficient reason to be heard. Then in the case that we come up with the value, they prove they have to ask for a 25-25.
Oh, they have to ask for it.
But in addition, we don't say, oh yeah, I think that's a quarter. We have to come up with the
Oh, I know,
value,
I know.
and then it has to meet the test.
Right.
Okay? But again, I'm going, and I know it seems really mean and vicious of me, and it's really against what I, in my heart, believe should be done on this. But in my heart, I felt really strongly on that other one. And everybody said no, even though it's only been 2 days, we are not gonna grant any. We still granted 2 based upon paperwork issues, okay?
No, I agree.
So I, in my heart, I think, yeah, we probably, but it doesn't matter. We made an agreement, and I don't get it. Why can we do it for this one, but we couldn't do it for that issue?
You're preaching to the choir.
Okay. No, I'm not, because y'all all said no, we're not gonna hear it, but that's okay.
Still preaching to the choir.
So therefore, we just need to remain consistent with what we say.
You want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that, based upon how this board has decided to remain consistent with our decisions on late protest, that we do not grant a late hearing on this protest request.
Second?
Second.
In favor?
Um,
No, I have a question. Can they be told that they can protest based on the 2025?
Yes.
No.
Oh.
We just,
Well, yeah, so on value, at any time,
Prior
they
to,
can,
prior to the delinquency date, they can submit another letter.
So do we tell them that?
we can send a letter. We do have a form letter. Like, as people send in things now, we'll say it's too late, it's past the approval date. If you feel that it would qualify as a 25-25 hearing, you may submit a request.
No, and I think we should.
I think we should do that.
I'm not opposed to us
If we can
giving
do that after the
information. I
rolls.
think we should give
you
information.
after the rolls.
You just approved the appraisal records.
Yeah,
And it's anytime after certification or approval of the records. I think it's after certification.
Oh,
I'd
okay.
have to go look at the exact wording in the
Yeah.
book.
So
That's
anytime
the
after
20
I certify, which we're gonna certify.
25th, right?
Well, the 25th falls on a Saturday, we can go till Monday. We're probably gonna try to certify on the 23rd, which is, you'll notice that you don't have hearings on Thursday and Friday.
Right.
And we have, on that Thursday, we're gonna make a big push. Val and I are gonna try to get it certified.
Cases on Thursday.
You're not gonna have cases on Thursday, not. You only have cases today, tomorrow, and Wednesday.
Right.
And then we meet again next Monday after that. But that's not for you. I mean, we have some important things. We have certification on Thursday, and we have PBS Zoom thing with the comptroller on Friday.
Y'all are gonna watch PBS?
No, PBS, property value
Oh,
study.
I thought you said PBS, I was like,
No, property value study with the
I
comptroller,
have
not as fun
one
as
thing
that.
under the discussion
Okay, so we're agreeing that you
and
want to
possible
send a
action
letter
on hearing
saying,
procedures.
we just discussed about the
Okay.
25.
we agree that she's gonna treat this case just
When
like
we
every
send
other
a
case
notice,
because
So you denied
the
it, but
owner,
you're gonna give them a letter
But
to
they
say
did
that if
ask
they
for it to
feel
be
that they're
certified
over
mail, and we did
Right.
more
not
than
do
1/3,
that.
they can,
They're
they
on the
can
docket
write
for
it
tomorrow,
in,
so I wanted to find
at
out with
any
the
time
board
prior to the delinquency.
if they wanted me to reach out to them,
And
just
everybody
how I
has
should
that
proceed.
available.
We do that.
It's just-
Okay.
It's in the language.
When they finish up.
Most people don't.
Okay.
This is the time that they should protest. I mean, that's the reason we give everybody a letter. And we're not like most districts. You need to know that. In most districts, they don't give you a notice of appraised value unless they're actually increasing your value. But we give a notice to everybody every year, regardless, whether it went up, down, or sideways. Which is kind of strange.
We have an item that falls in the category of item 6, rescheduled hearings agreed to by the property owner.
Well, it would be 5, well, I think it'd be more like 5 or.
Discussion of possible action on hearing procedures.
Mhm.
Okay. Go
So the notice of protest changed this year where a property owner or agent can request on the form itself to have their notice of hearing sent by certified mail. It says certified mail and agree to pay the cost if applicable. So we've gotten a couple of those. They've sent in a money order with their protest and we've sent those out certified.
There's like less than 10, less than 5. I mean,
We've
maybe
just
10.
only done 2 that way.
Okay, so there's only 2.
So this one was checked and there's a disconnect because when we put this in the system and there's not any kind of note we can make about it being a request for certified, so we overlooked it and we sent this person a notice by regular mail. And
did
I
they
just,
send a check?
no,
Oh.
but it doesn't say that they have to. That's what's kind of ambiguous here. It says certified mail and agree to pay the cost, parentheses, if applicable.
Ah, so that isn't,
So what
That
is
isn't
your
binding.
concern?
My concern is that when we were loading up evidence and things for tomorrow's hearings, I noticed that. We haven't heard from the property owner. Can I reach out to them and see if they are ready to go tomorrow, even though we didn't send it certified? Should I reschedule with them and send it certified if they would like?
my thought on this, but y'all might think differently, is on this one, you should call them. That form, it is not binding, okay, that they have to send a check with it. And we did not, that is an error out of this office.
Right.
So
They're on-
therefore,
The agenda?
They are scheduled for a hearing tomorrow.
Or-
So my
so I
first
think if
thought,
they're ready and want to come and have changed their schedule, let them come.
Yeah.
But if they want to change, let's let them change.
They don't know their schedule for tomorrow?
We don't.
well,
don't
we don't
know.
know. We
Oh,
haven't
oh.
spoken with them.
Then
And I was-
I would call, I think it should
Pick
be
up the
called.
phone. Yeah,
I agree with you.
I was going to do it, but then I thought, well, you know what, this is, maybe I better check before I just start going and.
Since
Okay.
you make it off, you make it mad.
In follow-up to that, how would you like her to proceed I mean, what are the possible outcomes here? Possible outcomes are they say they want to reschedule and we just give them a reschedule.
You have to reschedule.
Okay,
Well, and it wouldn't count as a reschedule, right?
No,
I would just go ahead
It would
and
not,
send
because it's
their
our fault.
notice of hearing as if it was the very first time.
Fine with
That's
me.
fine.
Okay.
No problem.
I don't think we need a motion on that,
No.
right?
No
I
problem.
don't think so.
Okay. That's all I have.
Okay.
Unless you want us to make a motion that on any other,
Well,
if
then-
the same exact thing happens again, that,
Well, there's a lot of parameters involved
oh,
here,
that's
though,
true, something
because-
else might be odd with it, you're
Yeah,
right, never
because
mind,
it's already been scheduled,
It's
it's
all good.
scheduled for tomorrow, you know,
you're right.
there's a
I'll-
lot of nuances.
Okay,
So we
I
have
don't
a
think we-
few at 1:30. Is that right?
We do. We have 3 scheduled at 1:30.
people,
Yes, I think, I can't remember right now. It'll say on your thing if they're in person or,
Two
If
in
there's-
person,
okay, and so the third one, we're not sure about, I
it's
guess.
an affidavit,
Oh,
says affidavit.
stop, okay. So 2 in person, 1 affidavit. And that will be it.
Okey-dokey. We
wow,
are recessed until 1:30.
yay.
Yay. You plug these in?
Oh, we'll
Just turn
get
it
'em.
off.
Is that me?
Just turn it off.
Sorry.
All right.
Yay.
Short and sweet, nice.
Man.
Yeah.
We're good, right?
Yeah. We're good.
So Mike, does that make you feel better?
Oh
that-
my gosh, yeah. The 5%?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. That was dicey.
Big vote off.
Yeah. I can now certify without any holdup.
Yay.
And when I certify, I send the certified totals to all the taxing units. And in there, there'll still be stuff under review, but
Okay.
it'll have an amount and they'll say, well, what's this? They'll say, it's 4 point whatever billion. And they go, oh, only this is left, and
Okay.
it's going to represent less than 3.9 of that. It could be 3.2 or 3.7. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's 3.9 today
Yeah.
before we started hearing. So that number just goes down at this point. So,
Okay.
Right.
and at that point, people can start doing their budgets and stuff.
So this
Anything else you
listing of,
No, sir, you got it all.
Okay.
this listing of the preliminary, I can put it in there or no?
Yes, and put that with it. So that's from today.
Oh, yes, okay, now I got it.
Yeah. So did y'all say y'all all turned it off, your Kindle, so they should be good
Yeah.
this afternoon?
Well, I would double check.
Yeah,
but I
I'll check
think
before I
so.
leave for lunch and see. how
I
they're
think
at.
so. Okay, so I have my 2 batteries, so why because don't y'all have other battery stuff here?
Yeah, we can put those now in the closet and,
In your closet and, because I don't need this.
yeah. Yeah, I'll just put it with our other batteries.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you. Isn't that funny? I mean, like today that I brought my batteries with me
Yeah.
and you brought yours.
Well, I would have gone ahead and put them in, but I thought, well, I think she may have brought them last time, so.
You're so
I wasn't just
sweet.
trying to make you do it.
No,
Okay?
thank you so much. Okay, so get my keys. Hello?